Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Kapeel Gupta Career PodShow, the podcast where we decode career success one episode at a time. And I'm your host, Kapeel Gupta. And today, you're diving into something absolutely fascinating, something you probably do multiple times every day without giving it a second thought. And I'm talking about your signature, that little scribble you put on exam papers, bank documents, job applications, and official emails. And now you might be thinking, Kapil Bhai, are you serious? My signature? How can that possibly affect my career? Well, my friends, buckle up because what I'm about to share with you today might just change the way you see yourself and your future forever. Listen to the full podcast as I have a special offer for all my dear listeners at the end. Now, let's move forward. Imagine this, it's a Monday morning, and two equally talented engineering graduates from the same Delhi college walk into separate job interviews at top IT companies. Both have similar marks, similar projects, similar skills. But one gets a job and the other doesn't. Now, what made the difference? Was it luck? Destiny? Not exactly. The successful candidate had something intangible, an aura of confidence, a certain self belief that radiated from every interaction, including the signature on his application form. Sounds too simple to be true, right? But here's the thing. According to a study published in the International Journal of Research and Analytical Reviews, approximately 75% of Fortune 500 companies use some form of handwriting or signature analysis during their recruitment process, and especially for leadership positions. Your signature isn't just ink on paper, it's a window into your subconscious mind, your confidence levels, and your readiness for success. So, today we are going to explore the incredible world of graphology, specifically signature analysis. And I'm going to show you exactly how making small intentional changes to your signature can open doors you never thought possible. So, whether you're a college student preparing for campus placements, a young professional stuck in a dead end job, or someone dreaming of studying abroad or starting your own venture, this episode is your game changer. So grab your notebook, get comfortable, and let's begin this journey of transformation together. Hello, all. I'm Kapeel Gupta, career coach, life mentor, and founder of Study Abroad Academy. I'm on a mission to help 100,000 high school students break free from confusion, fear, and self doubt and step into global classrooms, powerful careers, and a life they love. Now, this isn't just about studying abroad, it's about building clarity, confidence, and character. I do it with coaching, mindset work, and the game changing power of graphotherapy because students deserve more than just guidance, they deserve transformation. So, let me start by breaking down what graphology actually is. In simple terms, it is the study of handwriting and signatures to understand a person's personality, psychological state, and even their potential for success. Think of it like this: your brain is like a computer, and your hand is like a printer. Whatever is stored in your mental hard drive gets printed out through your handwriting and signature. Every loop, every slant, every stroke carries meaning. It's not magic or mumbo jumbo, it's a science backed by psychology and neurology. And now, your signature is particularly special because it represents how you want the world to see you. Unlike your regular handwriting, which you use for notes and everyday tasks, your signature is your personal brand. It's your official stamp on the world. In India, where we have such intense competition for everything, from college admissions to job opportunities, your signature appears on some of the most critical documents of your life. Your 10th and 12th mark sheets, your college applications, your internship contracts, your first job offer letter, your passport, every single one of these moments is marked by your signature. And here's something most people don't realize: your signature doesn't just reflect who you are, it actually influences who you become. According to research in neuro linguistic programming, repeated actions create neural pathways in your brain. Every time you sign your name in a particular way, you are reinforcing certain beliefs about yourself. If you sign small and cramped, hiding in the corner of the page, you're telling your subconscious that you're not worthy of taking up space. If you sign with bold, clear strokes, you're programming yourself for confidence and visibility. It's a feedback loop, and the beautiful part is that you can control it. Let me give you a real Indian context. Remember when Virat Kohli changed his signature around 2012? His earlier signature was relatively simple, but his current one is bold, with strong upward strokes and a distinctive flourish. Coincidence that is, his career skyrocketed after that. Maybe not entirely. I'm not saying that the signature alone made him a champion, but it certainly reflected and reinforced the mental shift he was going through. His signature became a symbol of his ambition, his determination, and his refusal to be ordinary. And in professional life, your signature matters more than you think. Imagine you're an HR manager reviewing 50 job applications. The qualifications might all look similar on paper, but subconsciously, you're also noticing things like confidence in presentation, attention to detail, and personal branding. A signature that's clear, confident, and professional creates a positive first impression. And on the other hand, a messy, illegible, or timid signature might raise questions about the candidate's self assurance and professionalism. According to a survey conducted by LinkedIn in 2023, 68% of recruiters admitted that non-verbal cues, including handwriting and signature quality on physical documents, influence their perception of candidates during initial screening stages. Your signature is also your energy signature. In graphology, experts believe that the way you sign your name carries your personal energy and intention. When you sign a contract, a check, or an important document, you're literally putting your energy into that transaction. A weak, hesitant signature can subconsciously communicate doubt and lack of commitment. And a strong, purposeful signature communicates clarity, determination, and readiness to take ownership. So before we move forward, I want you to do something right now. Take out a piece of paper and sign your name the way you normally do. Don't think too much about it. Just sign naturally. Done? Good. Now look at it carefully. What do you see? Is it large or small, clear or messy? Does it slant upward, downward, or stay straight? Does it have underlines, loops, or flourishes? Hold on to that paper, because by the end of this episode, you might want to make some changes. And trust me, those changes could be the beginning of something extraordinary. So now, let's talk about what I've observed after analyzing hundreds of signatures from Indian students and young professionals over the years. Now, there are some patterns that keep showing up again and again. And honestly, they're quite revealing about the challenges our generation faces. The first and the most common trait I see is the small and cramped signature. Imagine a signature that barely occupies 2 centimeters of space, squeezed into the tiniest corner of the page as if apologizing for existing. Now, this signature style is incredibly common among Indian students, especially those from the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Why? Because many of us grow up in environments where we are constantly told to be humble, to not stand out too much, to adjust and compromise. While humility is a beautiful value, excessive self minimization becomes a career obstacle. In graphology, a small signature indicates low self esteem, fear of judgment, and a tendency to undervalue your own worth. So, when you're applying for internships, scholarships, or jobs, a small signature subconsciously tells decision makers that you don't believe you deserve to be there. Another common trait is the illegible scribble signature. You know the type. It looks like a doctor's prescription, completely unreadable, just a hurried zigzag line. Many young professionals adopt this style thinking it looks sophisticated or busy, like they're so important they don't have time to write clearly. But here's the reality: an illegible signature suggests you are rushing through life, not fully present in your decisions, or perhaps hiding your true identity. According to a signature analysis expert, people with illegible signatures often struggle with self acceptance and may have imposter syndrome. In the Indian context, this is huge because so many of us suffer from imposter syndrome. We get into good colleges or companies and then spend our time worrying that we don't actually belong there. Our illegible signatures reflect that internal confusion about our identity and worth. Now, then there's the heavily underlined signature. Now, underlining isn't necessarily bad, but when someone underlines their signature 2 or 3 times with aggressive, heavy strokes, it reveals an excessive need for recognition and approval. Now, this is super common among middle children or students who felt overlooked in school. The multiple underlines are like saying, please notice me, please validate me. While ambition is great, desperate need for external validation can make you vulnerable to manipulation and burnout. You might end up saying yes to every project, every extra assignment, every favor just to feel valued, and eventually you crash. Another interesting pattern is the downward sloping signature. Imagine a signature that starts normally but then droops down towards the end, like it's tired or defeated. This signature style is often seen in students who have faced repeated failures, rejection from entrance exams, family pressure, or comparison with more successful siblings or cousins. A downward slope indicates pessimism, low energy, and a tendency to give up easily. So, if you're signing your name with a downward slant every single day, you're literally programming defeat into your subconscious mind. And let's also talk about the dotted I placed far away from the letter. Now, this might seem like a tiny detail, but in graphology, the placement of dots over letters like I and J reveals a lot about timing and follow through. So, if your dots are way above or to the side, far from where they should be, it suggests procrastination and scattered attention. This is incredibly relevant for Indian Gen Z who grew up with smartphones and social media. We have amazing ideas and intentions, but we struggle with execution because our attention is constantly fragmented. That misplaced dot is your brain's way of showing that you're not fully focused on completing what you start. And finally, there's the signature with heavy backward strokes or loops that circle back aggressively. These backward movements indicate dwelling on the past, difficulty moving forward, and sometimes self sabotage. I see this often in students who couldn't crack competitive exams like JEE or NEET and are stuck feeling bitter about their perceived failures. Every time they sign their name, they're subconsciously reinforcing that story of past disappointment. And now here's the thing, none of these signatures traits make you a bad person or destined for failure. Not at all. But they do reveal your current mental and emotional state. And more importantly, they influence how you show up in the world. The amazing news is that because you created these patterns, you also have the power to change them. And that's exactly what we are going to explore next. So let's get real for a moment. I want to share something that might be uncomfortable to hear, but absolutely necessary to understand. Your signature, if it carries negative traits, can be silently sabotaging your career growth without you even realizing it. It's like having a virus running in the background of your computer. Everything seems fine on the surface, but your performance is being drained bit by bit. Think about the concept of self fulfilling prophecy. If you sign your name in a timid, apologetic way every single day, you are reinforcing the belief that you're not good enough. This belief then affects your behavior. You hesitate to raise your hand in class. You don't apply for the dream internship because you assume you won't get it anyway. You accept a lower salary than you deserve because you're afraid to negotiate. You don't pitch your startup idea to investors because you're convinced they'll reject you. All these missed opportunities don't happen because you lack talent or potential. This happened because your internal programming, reinforced daily through your signature, tells you that you're not worthy. Let me give you a specific Indian example. Rajesh, a 23-year-old engineering graduate from Pune, had an excellent academic record and strong technical skills. He applied to over 50 companies during campus placements, but kept getting rejected after initial rounds. His resume was solid, his communication was decent, but something was off. When I analyzed his signature, I found it was extremely small, cramped in the corner with a downward slant. Every document he submitted, every email he signed off on carried this energy of defeat and self doubt. The interviewers couldn't consciously identify it, but subconsciously they sensed his lack of confidence. And more importantly, Rajesh himself wasn't showing up with the conviction needed to land those jobs because his signature was constantly telling him he wasn't good enough. Here's another angle. In Indian society, we face enormous pressure from family expectations, societal comparisons, and the constant fear of what will people say. है ना? लोग क्या कहेंगे? According to a survey by the Indian Journal of Psychiatry in 2022, approximately 47% of Indian college students reported experiencing moderate to severe anxiety related to career decisions and fear of failure. This anxiety often manifests in our signatures. So, when you're constantly worried about disappointing your parents or being compared to your more successful cousin, your signature becomes defensive, small, and protective. You're subconsciously trying to make yourself invisible to avoid criticism. The really tricky part is that these signature patterns create a vicious circle. Your negative signature reinforces low confidence, which leads to missed opportunities, which then confirms belief that you are not good enough, which makes you sign even more negatively. It's like being stuck in quicksand. The more you struggle with the old pattern, the deeper you sink. So let's talk about imposter syndrome specifically because it's a massive issue among young Indian professionals and especially those who make it to top companies or prestigious institutions. According to research published in the International Journal of Behavioral Science, an estimated 70% of people experience imposter syndrome at some point in their careers. In India, where competition is brutal and comparison is constant, this number might be even higher. People with imposter syndrome often have signatures that are either illegible, showing they are hiding their true selves, or overly complicated, showing they're trying too hard to prove their worth. I once worked with Priya, a talented software developer who got placed at FANG company through campus recruitment from IIT. Amazing achievement, right? But she spent her first year constantly anxious, feeling like she didn't deserve to be there. Like any moment, someone would discover she was a fraud. Her signature reflected this perfectly. It was a confused mix of loops and backward strokes, showing internal conflict and self doubt. Despite her obvious intelligence, she held herself back for contributing ideas in meetings, avoided leadership opportunities, and missed out on promotion cycles simply because she couldn't own her achievements. Her weak signature was both a symptom and a cause of this self sabotage. Another critical point is salary negotiation. Studies show that in India, young professionals, especially women, are significantly less likely to negotiate their starting salaries compared to their Western counterparts. And part of this is cultural. We are taught not to be too demanding or aggressive, but part of it is also internal programming. If your signature is small and timid, how comfortable will you feel asking for an extra 2 or 3 lakhs in your CTC? Your signature is literally training you to accept less than you deserve. And the same applies to entrepreneurship. India has an incredible startup ecosystem right now, but many brilliant business ideas never see the light of day because the person with the idea doesn't believe they can pull it off. A weak signature reinforces that doubt. Every time you sign off on a plan or a pitch deck with a defeated signature, you're sending mixed signals to the universe and to yourself. And you're saying, I want this, but I don't really believe I can have it. And here's the bottom line: your signature is not just a formality, it's a daily affirmation of who you believe you are and what you believe you deserve. Now, if that affirmation is negative, it will hold you back in ways that are subtle but significant. The good news: you can rewrite this affirmation starting today. And that's exactly what we are going to do next. So, all right, now we are getting into the juicy part, the actionable stuff, the part where transformation actually begins. So, changing your signature is not complicated, but it does require awareness, intention, and consistency. So, I'm going to give you 5 specific scientifically backed graphology tips that you can start implementing immediately. Now, these are tried and tested methods that have helped thousands of people, including many of my podcast listeners and coaching clients, completely transform their career trajectories. So, tip number 1 is to make your signature larger and clearer. So, this is the simplest and most impactful change you can make. If your current signature is small and cramped, I want you to consciously expand it. Use more space. Don't apologize for existing on that page. In graphology, the science of your signature directly correlates with your self esteem and confidence. A larger signature tells the world, and more importantly, tells your own subconscious that you're worthy of being seen and heard. You deserve to take up space. And now, I'm not saying to make it ridiculously huge like signing autographs as a Bollywood star. Just make it proportionate, and confident. When you practice this daily for even just 2 weeks, you'll notice a shift in how you carry yourself in meetings, presentations, and interviews. Tip number two is to add a firm underline or an upward stroke. Underlining your signature, when done correctly with a single confident line, symbolizes self reliance and a strong foundation. It shows you're grounded and can support yourself. An upward stroke at the end of your signature is even more powerful. It represents ambition, optimism, and forward movement. Think of it like graph of your career. You move it trending upward, not flat or downward. Many successful entrepreneurs and leaders have signatures with prominent upward flourishes. This simple addition can completely change the energy of your signature. So, when I asked Rajesh, the engineering graduate I mentioned earlier, to add an upward stroke to his signature, and he practiced it for 30 days, he reported feeling noticeably more optimistic and motivated. 3 months later, he landed a job at a startup he really wanted. Coincidence? I don't think so. Tip number three is to ensure legibility, especially your first letter. Your signature doesn't have to be as clear as printed text, but at minimum, the first letter of your name should be recognizable. This represents authenticity and transparency. In a world where trust is currency, especially in professional relationships, an illegible signature can create subconscious doubt. People might wonder what you're hiding or whether you're really confident about who you are. Make your first initial bold and clear. This is your personal logo. It should be identifiable and memorable. Tip number four, and this is crucial: avoid downward strokes or heavy backward strokes. Remember, graphology is about energy and direction. Downward movements represent depression, pessimism, and decline. Backward movements represent dwelling on the past and inability to move forward. If your current signature has these elements, consciously redesign it to move either horizontally or upward. Every stroke should take you forward, literally and metamorphically. I know this might feel strange at first because you're so used to signing in a certain way, but stick with it. Your brain is incredibly adaptable. Within 21 days of consistent practice, the new signature will start feeling natural, and that's when the real magic happens because you're literally rewiring your neural pathways. And tip number five is to include a positive symbol or element. This could be a small dot, a gentle flourish, or a simple geometrical shape incorporated subtly into your signature. In graphology and even in Feng Shui principles, certain symbols attract positive energy and opportunities. Though I've shared important tips, but there's more to it. A signature is a group of characters. So, as to get the signature right, one needs to get the character right. So, go to this description of the podcast and enroll for the signature analysis and correction offer. I shall personally analyze it, help you correct it by hand holding you for full 30 days. After all, your signature is our identity for the world. Complete guidance will be provided. So now, here's the implementation strategy. You cannot just wake up tomorrow and start signing differently on important documents. That will feel forced and inauthentic. Instead, connect with me and I shall help you follow the signature correction schedule. So, as you practice, you're not just changing ink on paper, you're reprogramming your subconscious mind. You're creating new neural pathways that associate your identity with confidence, success, and forward movement. And one important note for my Indian audience: if you're in college or working, you might have official documents where your old signature is registered. Don't panic. You can gradually transition. Start using your new signature on non critical documents first, like internal emails, notebooks, informal letters. And as you build confidence and consistency, you can formally update your signature with your bank, university, or employer. Most institutions allow signature updates with proper verification. The key is consistency. Once you commit to your new signature, stick with it. Your signature should become your constant companion on your journey to success. So, now let me share real life transformation stories that will hopefully inspire you to take this seriously. These are actual cases I've witnessed or worked with, though I've changed names and minor details to protect privacy. Story number one is about Neha from Bengaluru. She was a 24-year-old marketing professional stuck in a mid level position with no clear growth plan. She had good ideas but never spoke up in meetings. Her signature was tiny, barely visible, squeezed in the corner like she was trying to disappear. And when she came to me for career coaching, I first analyzed her signature and pointed out what it revealed. She was shocked because she realized that her signature perfectly mirrored her lack of confidence. I asked her to redesign her signature, making it 3 times larger with a confident upward stroke. She was skeptical but agreed to practice for 30 days. She later told me that around day 15, something strange started happening. She began feeling more assertive. She spoke up in a meeting for the first time and pitched an innovative campaign idea. Her manager noticed. Within 6 months of consistently using a new signature, she received a promotion and a 25% salary hike. Was it just the signature? Of course not. But the signature change triggered a mindset shift that cascaded into changed behavior and eventually changed outcomes. Story number two involves Arjun, a 22-year-old student from Jaipur who was preparing for civil services after completing his graduation. He had been attempting UPSC for 2 years with no success. His signature had heavy backward strokes and a downward slant. So when we analyze it, it became clear that he was mentally stuck in past failures and approaching his preparation with a defeatist attitude. I suggested he create a new signature with no backward movement, only forward and upward strokes. He practiced diligently. Interestingly, as his signature changed, his study habits improved. He became more organized, more optimistic, and more focused. In his third attempt, he cleared the prelims and mains and is currently serving as an IAS officer. He later told me that changing his signature was the first step in changing his entire approach to life. It might sound dramatic, but small shifts can create massive momentum. Story number three is about Priyanka, who wanted to study abroad for a master's degree but had massive self doubt. She came from a small town in Uttar Pradesh, and the idea of studying at a foreign university felt impossible to her. Her signature reflected this, being cramped and illegible. As part of her application preparation, I suggested she create a bold, clear signature that represented the confident person she wanted to become. She practiced it while working on her applications. Something interesting happened. As the signature became clearer and larger, her statement of purpose became more confident. Her video interviews felt more authentic. She got accepted into 3 universities, including one in the United States with a partial scholarship. Today, she attributes part of her success to the mental shift that started with something as simple as changing her signature. Now, these stories might sound too good to be true, but there's a science behind it. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. Every time you consciously practice a new signature, you are engaging in neuroplasticity. You're telling your brain that you're choosing a new identity, a new level of confidence, a new trajectory. And your brain, being the amazing organ it is, starts aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with this new identity. It's like updating your internal software. The changes don't happen overnight, but they do happen and they compound over time. And for Gen Z, especially in India, we are navigating unprecedented challenges and opportunities. This is incredibly empowering. We are the generation that will shape India's future. We are digital natives, we are ambitious, we are creative, but we are also dealing with massive pressure, comparison culture on social media, climate anxiety, economic uncertainty, and mental health challenges that previous generations didn't face at this scale. According to a report by Deloitte, in 2024, 73% of Gen Z professionals in India reported feeling stressed about their career prospects. We need every tool available to build resilience and confidence. So, changing your signature is definitely not a magic pill. It won't solve all your problems, but it's a powerful tool in your personal development toolkit. It's something entirely within your control. You don't need permission from anyone. You don't need money or resources. You just need awareness, intention, and commitment. Your signature is a personal brand. It's how you stamp yourself on the world. Make it count, make it reflect the successful, confident, happy person you are becoming. Remember, success isn't just about money or status, it's about fulfillment, purpose, and living authentically. Your signature should represent all dimensions of who you are and who you aspire to be. It should be uniquely yours, carrying your energy, your dreams, and your determination. So, as we wrap up today's episode, I want you to take a small moment and reflect. When you signed your name today, yesterday, or over the past week, what were you really signing? Were you signing with confidence or doubt, with optimism or defeat, with clarity or confusion? The signature is not just a legal formality, it's a daily declaration of your self worth and your vision for your future. We've covered a lot today, from understanding graphology and what your signature reveals about you, to identifying common negative patterns in your signatures, to learning exactly how to redesign your signature for success. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. The real transformation begins when you pick up that pen and start practicing your new signature. When you commit to 30 days of conscious practice, when you decide that you are worthy of taking up space or being seen, of achieving your dreams. I want to remind you that you're living in the most exciting time to be a young Indian professional. The opportunities available to a generation are unprecedented, but opportunities don't come to those who feel small and invisible. They come to those who show up confidently, who believe in themselves, who aren't afraid to put their signatures on bold dreams and big goals. Your signature is literally in your hands. You have the power to change it. And in changing it, you change the story you're telling yourself every single day. You change how you show up in interviews, in negotiations, in presentations, in life. It might seem like a small thing, but as we've seen from real life examples, small things can trigger massive transformations. And don't forget to connect with me to avail the signature analysis and correction offer and take the first step towards your transformation. I have a special offer for my dear listeners. So before I sign off today, I want to leave you with this thought. In life, we are constantly signing things, agreeing to things, committing to things. Make sure that every time you put your signature down, you're signing with the energy of someone who knows their worth, someone who's moving forward, someone who's ready for success, because you absolutely are. And here's what I want you to do right now, today, before you move on to the next podcast or YouTube video or Instagram scroll. This is your moment. Take it seriously, because this could be the turning point you look back on years from now. First, grab a blank notebook or even just a few sheets of paper. Sign your current signatures 3 times. Really look at it. Study it. What does it say about you? Be honest. Does it reflect the confident, successful, ambitious person you want to become? Or does it reflect doubts and limitations you're ready to release? Second, using the 5 tips I shared today, design your new signature. Make it larger, add an upward stroke or a firm underline, Ensure your first initial is clear. Remove any downward or backward movements. Add a personal positive element. Take your time with this. This is your new personal brand. Make it something you're proud of. You also have the option to go deep and all out and take the advantage of my expertise. Immediately go to the description of the podcast and avail the offer especially curated for my dear listeners. Third, commit to 30 days of practice. Every single day in your dedicated notebook, practice your new signature at least 10 times. Do it mindfully. Feel the difference. Notice the shift in your energy as you sign with confidence and intention. And fourth, share this episode with at least 3 friends who are also on their career journey. Maybe they're preparing for competitive exams, looking for jobs, wanting to study abroad, or planning to start something of their own. This message needs to reach everyone who's ready for transformation. Your signature might just be the catalyst they needed. And fifth, after 30 days of practice, come back and leave a review or comment sharing your experience. Tell me if you notice any changes in your confidence, your opportunities, or your mindset. Your story could inspire thousands of others. I read every single comment and message, and I genuinely want to hear about your journey. And finally, remember this. You're not born to live small. You're not born to hide in corners and apologize for existing. You were born to achieve great things, to live a happy and fulfilled life, to make a positive impact on this world. Your signature should reflect that truth. So go ahead, pick up that pen, and quite literally sign yourself up for success. This is Kapeel Gupta, reminding you that sometimes the biggest transformations start with the smallest changes. Your signature is waiting, your success is waiting, your dream life is waiting. All you have to do is sign on the dotted line, but this time sign with power, with purpose, and with unshakable belief in yourself. So until next time, keep growing, keep believing, and keep signing your way to success. Thank you so much for tuning into the Kapeel Gupta Career PodShow. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode.